I decided to put a short little video out as a clarification for what some may seem just scrolling through the titles of the videos that have been put forth on this channel. There is a narrative that was written, that was put forth, called the rapture. Now, this is a false narrative, and I'm careful about when I say this, even though I just said it, because I know that it can upset people, and I'm not meaning to whatsoever. I'm wanting to be able to share with people that there is another way, that my job is to show the deception so that people will have the ability to choose what they want to do within that in order to see that there's another way available. How do you make deception work? By putting enough truth in it that the deception can come along with it. In pointing out the false narratives that do exist within the English scriptures, so the deception lies that they put enough truth in it in order to slip the lies in order to deceive masses. The rapture is one of those things. When we talk about the removal, we are not talking about an external source that is sweeping us up. What we're talking about is that a removal has to do with the activation of the light body, the Merkaba. And it's interesting because depending on what you do in research on Merkaba, you will find that many people have called them light ships. There have been people that have said that the Palladians use the Merkaba as their ships, that they're actually orbs that we are seeing within our world that are floating in the sky, that those are actually Merkabas, depending on how you want to pronounce it, that are actually people that have activated their light bodies, allowing them to travel. So when they put forth the rapture, that there was going to be an external force to come and remove, this automatically gave people the opportunity to take the path of least resistance, because therefore they didn't need to change. All they needed to do was wait for the Savior to come and swoop them up. This was a very difficult concept for me to navigate because I had been indoctrinated with that from a little child. And now, almost 50 years later, I've had to reconcile many of these deceptions and work through the anger and the potential bitterness and the resentment that I could hold towards those who indoctrinated me. Because as a little child, you trust. I mean, you don't know anything, and so you're very impressionable. And what I came to realize is that all of this was an ingathering and stepping zones for me to be able to get to the point, to be able to gather what I needed for my own personal spiritual growth by sorting through all the pieces in my lifelong gathering attempts to find the narrative and the narrow path of truth and love. What I have found is the culmination of the revealing of these codes, which is really all that I've ever sought for. In fact, I used to pray to God and I would say, please give us the blueprints. We need the blueprints. And I would pray that, oh my goodness, daily. And this went on for months and months and months, and it turned into years. And just recently, it was revealed the word tabneath, which is literally the word for pattern and blueprint. The pattern and the blueprint is that of the mother and father's teaching. So you can imagine how much joy I had when that was revealed to me, to see that the prayer that I put forth, the cry that I put forth, was actually answered. And it was very, very humbling. So back to the narrative of the rapture. The rapture was put into place again to keep us from doing anything, which is really the whole narrative of the English scriptures. Very difficult to understand. I totally understand. I comprehend. I have much, much passion and compassion towards those that are struggling in this process of being able to reconcile what is true and what is false. And in reality, we're trying to reconcile into all of them into one. that duality is just a program for us to learn in and through. So if there is a true, which is Merkabah, then there has to be a false, the rapture. Two both have to exist at the same time for duality to be balanced. So I just thought I would point this fact out, that we are not promoting the rapture. What we are promoting is the activation of the light codes within that are unlocked from and by the codes, ingesting them, studying them, reading them, and then allowing them to activate you and compress that light within by spending time in those words, so that we can do that. This is not a religion, and I want to make that perfectly clear. We are not trying to gather people. We're trying to equip people, and this is not a religion. We're not trying to form some different offshoot of some other narrative, because really, actually, what we are teaching is a little bit of everything from every single pathway that has truth in it. And you will be able to see that. There's many streams that lead to the same path, but many of them have had lies scattered and mixed within. These codes help us be able to see the difference and find that path to navigate through it. I've heard the term of navigating the Maya and finding the Upaya to be able to make our way through it. I'm not going to go describe that because, this is a different language that has vibratory frequency in it, and those who have studied that understand what I'm saying, but I don't have the ability to explain it other than that through the Hebrew and the Aramaic. It's the Mayim to the Shamayim, so the waters of chaos to the waters above. So it's a very simple, not simple concept, but it translates across. The Maya to the Upaya is the same as the Mayim to the Shamayim. Different words, same frequencies, generated by different symbols and different sounds, but in the end, actually create the same result. So no rapture here, folks. It's going to take work on our part, and we can do it. We can start beginning to do it right away, and it doesn't take as long. I will tell you that those that have been slogging through in the beginning are like the tip of the spear. A picture that I was given to describe this would be if you were standing in a forest, maybe a forest full of bamboo shoots, because I keep picturing like a machete, someone that is within this forest of bamboo shoots that is so thick that there's no pathway made. So those who come into the codes to begin with are slogging through and making their way through the bamboo forest so that the pathway can be more easily accessible, so that those that come behind will actually get the same benefit, but they didn't have to do all the hard work. I was sharing with somebody this idea, and I love this woman. She's very precious to me, and her comment was, and I totally understood it. She said, well, that doesn't seem that fair, that there would be people at the beginning that have to work so hard. But honestly, those of us that are on the beginning side of this, or that are helping to make the way, we find it and count it as a great honor to do this. That as we have been seeking a way to serve man, because we've chosen to take that path and not the service to self, but to serve man, we have found that this is one way that we can do it, by making these teachings available, making this channel available, making ourselves available, because we were blessed with being able to see the codes. So anyway, those are my thoughts for today, and I hope that those of you that listen to this got something out of it. I bless you. I bless you with the light of the Creator. I bless you with His Shalom, the peace that goes beyond all understanding, in a time where we are surrounded by waters of chaos. That by coming here, if you choose as the called to respond, that you will be blessed with that kind of shalom, and that these things will be manifest in your life, so that you too can activate your Merkabah and then turn and teach others how to do it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. You mean a great deal to me and to all of us that are doing the work. Shalom and namaste.